Anyway, okay, so let me get to it. Um, so I'm talking about when you've been single for a long time, and then I'm going to talk about healing based on the two posts that I posted earlier today. Well, one of the posts that I post asks, what was the last thing you heard from God? So if you have DM'd me about not being able to hear from God or wanting to get clarity hearing from the Lord, I am going to respond as soon as I end this live, because I do have some resources that can help you hear from God better, get confirmation and clarity with whatever you heard, whether it's a word from the Lord, whether it's a dream that you received, or whether it is a vision. So I do have a couple of options for you. And so if that's you, and if you did not DM me from the earlier post, if you want help hearing from God, I can help you with that. So send me a DM, and I'm responding as soon as I end this live. I had a busy day today. I'm at my mom's house. You can probably tell from the background I'm not home. So a lot of you DM me early this morning, and I have just now got a chance to sit down and get on Instagram again. All right, and so the two posts earlier, the second post that I posted earlier, I was asking you, where were you stuck in your healing? And so based on those responses that I got and some of the DMs that I got, I'm going to give you some more than just encouragement. I'm actually going to give you some coaching about healing on this live this evening. And I'm going to coach you about singleness. So let's get into it. First, let me go ahead and pray, because everything begins and ends with prayer. So I'm going to pray. I thank every last one of you who are taking the opportunity to join me, 11 years single. Kudos to you for hanging in there and not settling and getting into a horrible marriage because you got so desperate and lonely. So you really need to pat yourself on the back for being able to hold out that long. That is amazing. Even if you had some rough patches within that 11 years, because we all have, but the fact that you're still single and you have not just settled for any old thing and got into a horrible marriage is a wonderful thing. Okay, so I'm going to pray real quick, and then we're going to get started. Heavenly Father, I thank you for all the women that are joining me on tonight. I also thank you for the ones that are watching this replay, that they will get not only a word of encouragement, but something specific from your heart that will help them to move forward in this season, so that they will have more peace, more joy, and more clarity in their singleness, and be able to receive total healing in Christ Jesus. In your name we pray, amen. So I also wanted to say I hope everyone is having a good Easter weekend, a good resurrection Sunday weekend. All right, so I'll go ahead and jump right on in. Let me introduce myself. So for those of you who may be new to me, you may be new to my page, my name is Sarita Foxworth. I am a life coach, a teacher, and a healing and hope catalyst for women who are stuck in their healing or losing faith in their single season. I'm the founder of the Phenomenal Single Woman Coaching Practice. So I am a certified life coach. I have been professionally trained by Valerie Burton. I went through the Coaching and Positive Psychology Institute back in 2014, graduated in 2015. I went to a Bible school, and I've also been working with single women since 2010. So boom, there's all of my qualifications and certifications summarized real quick, so you know exactly who I am. And I have a heart for you. So whatever I post on my page, whenever I go live, whenever I send you an email, whenever I am communicating and connecting with you, it's always coming from a place of love. It's always coming out of my heart. It's always coming from a place of truly and genuinely wanting to help you and to get you moving forward in these areas that I know specifically that I am created and called to help you in. All right, so when it comes to singleness, I myself have never been engaged. The longest long-term relationship that I was in was about 2 years, and I found out that he was cheating on me the entire time. As a matter of fact, one day he just told me that he got married to a woman that he would call his friend when I would ask about her. It was always his friend. And then just one day out of nowhere, he was like, I need to tell you something. Last night I got married. Okay. So my heart was broke. So that was the longest term relationship that I've had. Now I've been walking with the Lord since 2009. I got rededicated. I became celibate. I got delivered from a whole bunch of things that we consider ungodly: smoking, drinking, clubbing, partying, fornication, lust. All of those things I got delivered from in 2009. I started my celibacy walk, and I have fallen off my celibacy walk 3 times in the last 9 years. That's why I'm a single mom. So I'm totally honest and transparent. Okay, but every time I might slip up, I always get right back up again. Right back up again. Start my celibacy journey again, and learn those lessons and carry them forward into the future, so that I don't make those same mistakes again. And my faith only grows stronger and stronger and stronger. Okay, so I understand being single for a long time, not being in a relationship for a long time. I understand being celibate. The first time I broke my celibacy walk, I was celibate for 6 years straight. And then I made one poor decision after the next and ended up breaking my celibacy walk for somebody that I thought was going to be my husband, somebody that I considered my best friend. I had known this person for 17 years, and then we took our friendship into a relationship, and I ended up breaking my celibacy walk with him, which was a horrible decision. Obviously, that was not of God, but it was an experience, and I learned a very, very valuable lesson from it. I learned a bunch of valuable lessons from it, actually. So I understand how it can be to be celibate for a long, long time, to be single for a long, long time. So I want to encourage you today, because I'm here for you, but I'm also right here with you. So the things that you experience, I probably experienced them as well myself, but I've learned those lessons and grown from them. And that's the most important thing, is just not to get stuck in that place, and not to give up on God, and not to give up on yourself, and to understand that none of us are perfect. So if anybody ever tries to condemn you or bash you for hitting a rough patch or making some mistakes, all that judgment is not coming from a place of love. It is, I don't believe, is godly, because God doesn't condemn us like that. There's no condemnation to those that are in Christ. When the Lord put that in the word, he knew that we weren't perfect. He knew that some of us will make mistakes, and he knew everyone is making some kind of mistake. Everyone is making some kind of mistake. So to put all of that condemnation and judgment upon yourself, and to cause yourself to just give up on the Lord and give up on yourself, is not beneficial to anyone. And also, I don't believe that that is the will of God. I think that whatever our weak area is, whenever we make mistakes, we can always get back up, dust ourselves off, and continue on our journey with the Lord, okay? All right, so let me get to it. Single for a long time. Now, I want to encourage you, because I think when I posted yesterday, I posted a word of encouragement about that the man that God has for you is going to find you, that he's praying for you. He's going to be coming after you. I genuinely believe that. And one of my loyal followers, she always comments on every post. And she's very engaged, and I love her. But she said, when is it going to happen? Some of us are running out of time. And that really, it was something that I thought about, because I was like, okay, who says you're running out of time? Are you like 85 years old? What are you running? Now, are you talking about because having babies? There's this clock that's ticking. Who determines that you're running out of time? God is the author of time. His timing is perfect, not ours. I can't speak on, none of us know why some things take longer to manifest than others. There's a lot of mysteries that the Lord has that we will never know. We're not supposed to. His ways are higher than ours. His thoughts are higher than ours, right? But I want to encourage you, because from reading her response, it sounded like she was getting in doubt, and she was growing weary and getting to a place of despair. And I really want to talk to any of you that may be going through something similar. You feel like you're getting to a place of despair, doubt, and weariness is starting to set in. This is what I do to encourage myself, to make sure that I don't get to these places. You need to encourage yourself. You need to do something different to encourage yourself. Now, in the beginning of your single walk, you can probably go to church, hear a good preaching on singleness, lift your hands and be all excited and keep it moving and say, God gonna send me my boat. Okay, in the beginning. Okay, but then year 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 on up. All these years start to go by, and the same thing, you start hearing things, the same thing over and over. Just trust God. Just focus on yourself. How many times have we all heard that? Focus on yourself. God will send you your husband when you are so happy and full of God that you don't need a husband. That's when you're going to get one. You start to hear the same cliches about singleness, and it doesn't inspire you, encourage you, or motivate you anymore. And so what I would definitely recommend you to do, and actually what I'm going to challenge you to do, is to encourage yourself by doing something different. So the first thing that you can do to encourage yourself is to go harder in this season with your faith walk. And what do I mean by that? I mean, when you start to feel your faith dwindling and you're at that point where you want to give up on God, do something to motivate yourself. Find some new resources. There are books out there about singleness. Maybe you've read them all, maybe you haven't. I guarantee there's probably some resources you have not tapped into yet, because I'm still tapping into some pretty amazing resources. There's some pretty good women who have studied it and who can encourage you with their work. And I believe I'm one of those women. I just don't have my book out yet. But there are other women who have studied it and wrote books about it. There are videos, so there's teachings about singleness. There's probably new people that you have never heard. I just got connected with somebody not even a year ago who has been actually teaching about singleness for a long time. But for some reason, I just found out about her. She's very encouraging. Join a group. There's these different groups that are available, and I'm not just talking about in your church. There's different groups outside of the church that are spirit-filled, that are believers who minister to single women. You can connect with them across the nation and get into a group, meet some new single women of God to encourage you. And study and ask God. This has helped me the most, more than the resources. Study and ask God for new revelation. Now, if I believe I'm called to women who know the words. I believe every last one of you who are watching this or watching the replay, you're women of God. You are mature believers. I'm not talking to baby Christians. You know the word. You've been studying it for a long time. You've been studying the word for years and years and years, right? Go to God and ask him to give you a fresh revelation. I went to God after my last heartbreaking situation when I found out the man was cheating on me and my heart was all broke. I was like, Lord, what in the world? I said, okay, God, please give me some fresh revelation, because I felt like the Lord kept sending me back to the same scriptures, the same storylines. And I was like, okay, God, please, either if you're going to keep sending me here, give me some fresh revelation, or if not, can you send me somewhere? Can you show me somewhere else? Some other place where I can stand on some things. He took me to 2 stories, and I won't give you the whole revelation that he gave me yet, because I don't believe it's time for me to really release that. But he did give me 2 revelations. One was in 1 Samuel. It was the story of Hannah. Oh, amazing revelation I got from that. And the second revelation that I got was right in the book of Genesis. It was a revelation about Adam. And so what that did was it caused my faith to build and get even stronger, because where he used to always take me was to Psalm 37:4. The whole Psalm 37 is full of promises and promises about the desires of your heart and how God is going to bless the faithful and things like that. And so I asked God specifically for new revelation, and that's where he took me. So I want to challenge you to do the same thing in your prayer time and in your study time. The scriptures start to look a little dry. Ask God for fresh revelation. Ask him to reveal new things to you, new understanding that you have not seen or felt previously, things that will stir up your faith and cause you to grow. All right. This will cause your faith to go higher. It will cause you to go harder. All right, so I'll just share with you about Adam and Boaz real quick. So we all say we're believing for our Boaz, right? How many times have we read the book of Ruth? About 5 million, right? We can quote each other the story of Boaz and Ruth. And so one day when I was praying this, God gave me fresh revelation. He took me to Adam. And I'm like, okay. I mean, Adam, Genesis. I'm like, okay, I already know what happened. I already know the rib came from the man. But the Lord revealed to me then, he was like, Sarita, you are praying for a husband that, you will be compatible with, and y'all will get along, and you will love each other, and you'll be equally yoked and things like that. He said, but on another level, not only is there somebody that you'll be equally yoked with, and y'all will be compatible, and y'all will be friends, but there is somebody who you are literally cut from. Eve was literally cut from Adam. Not only was she cut from Adam, but when Adam first seen her, he knew that she was his wife. So all of these men that you're entertaining, Sarita, and they acting unsure about you and they're kind of hesitating, the man who God has for you, you are cut from him. He's going to know you on sight. It's not going to be any questions about anything. There's not going to be any games played. He's not going to have to wait and see. You're not going to have to date somebody for year after year after year after year and then wait and see. Hopefully, if they choose me and if I'm going to be the one for them. None of those things are going to take place, because when you meet the person that you are cut from, it's going to be not only God ordained, but something that he predestined before time. So the person that's for you, you have been predestined before time. When God created him, he had you in mind at the very same time, because you came out of him. And so when I got this revelation, I was like, Lord, okay. So that caused my faith to go to another level. Not only was I still standing and believing for God to send me a husband, but not just a husband, not just somebody I'm compatible with, not just somebody who we're going to be friends and we'll have the same purpose, but somebody I am cut from. So when you go to the Lord and ask him to give you revelation and to open your eyes to some new things to help you grow and encourage you in your faith, he is going to answer your prayers. You just got to be open to it. And he's going to show you something specific for your heart and where you are right now in your life that you can understand, that's going to encourage and motivate you in this season as well, no matter how long it's been. And you'll be able to encourage others. All right. And then the last way that I want to challenge you to go harder in your single season is to go harder in your purpose. Whatever your purpose is, whatever the Lord has created you to do and wants you to focus on in this season, take it to another level. Whatever you've been doing, do more, do greater, reach wider, have greater impact. People say focus on you, focus on your purpose. I'm challenging you not just to focus on your purpose, but to take however you have been fulfilling your purpose up to a whole nother level. Double it up, triple it up, quadruple it up. Go do more. Go, put yourself all the way in your purpose. Some of you have 1 foot in purpose and 1 foot out purpose. You're focusing on all these other things right now to keep yourself distracted from the fact that you're still single, or that you don't have these kids yet, or maybe you're distracted with your mind on those things, but you're doing little things over here to say, I'm working on purpose. Put yourself all the way, fully engulf yourself in your purpose. Go harder. So I have an example. It's not a biblical example. It's a natural example. And it came to mind when I was thinking earlier about this go harder piece. I used to be in the military. I was in the Navy. And in the military, you have PT tests, physical training tests, where they make sure that you're still in shape. Some of you that were in the military or family members in the military, you're aware of this. You have to run, do sit-ups, and do push-ups. You have to do a certain amount within a certain amount of time and things like that. And they test you. Well, I used to struggle with the running part. I have always struggled with the running part. That was never easy. I like running, but having to hurry up and run a certain length in a certain amount of time was always a struggle. And I remember I think it was my supervisor one day was like, okay, Sarita, when you go out there and run, he said, whenever you start to feel tired or like you can't go anymore or your body wants to give up or you want to stop, he said, run harder. I was like, if I feel like I want to stop and give up, how am I going to run harder? But I listened to him because I wanted to pass. I didn't want to fail. And when I got out there and I was running, as soon as you have a steady pace and you get tired and you want to slow down because your body is hurting and you want to give up, he said, go harder. And I just went a little bit harder than I was going a moment ago. No, I wasn't going probably as fast as I was going in the beginning, but it helped me to not stop. It helped me to keep going until I got to the finish line and I never failed a test. I kept that with me, and every time I had to take a test, I was in the military for 8 years. So we had to take the test twice a year. That's 16 tests. 16 times I had to run that test, and I remember his words, and that is what comes to mind with this singleness walk. Whenever you feel yourself growing weary or weaker or wants to give up or get into despair, go harder. Go harder. Go harder. Don't allow Satan to win. Don't allow the enemy to come and throw thoughts into your mind to cause you to give up on God. God is the one who created you and loves you so much. And then also what the Lord wanted me to share with you was that some of you are wondering, when I posted that post about standing in faith, and when I posted that post about standing in faith and that your boss is going to find you, some of you were like, well, where is he, right? Because when you're single for a long time, we can go through droughts. Now, as women of God, who are strong women of God, I don't believe that the Lord wants you to be like women in the world. Always in some relationship, always breaking up to make up, always rotating men, and spending a whole lot of time out on dates, spending a whole lot of time on the phone, spending a lot of time investing into these relationships that are not going to end in the godly marriage that you're praying for. I believe that God wants us to focus on whatever he wants you to focus on. He wants you to focus on purpose, becoming the best version of yourself. And if you are distracted by all these many men who are calling you up and taking you out, that's not going to happen. Not only that, but you are so precious to God. Your heart is so precious and valuable to the Lord that I believe he will take us and put us in the safe. I did a blog post a while ago called In the Safe. What happens when you feel like you're in the season of drought? You are in the safe. You are God's most valuable and prized possession. He doesn't want everybody messing with you and touching you and putting their hands all over you and getting all in your head and messing with your mind or causing you to have your emotions all wound up and things like that. He doesn't want you caught up in all of this crazy drama. You're in the safe, sis. You are set apart so that God can work on you and work on the man at the same time. Prepare you and prepare the man at the same time. Teach you more about him. Help you to grow closer to him while he's doing all these things with the man at the very same time. Because remember, y'all are cut from each other. You are going through the same process. I believe you are going through the same process around the same seasons in your lives. The reason why it seems like you're not approachable or nobody wants you, those are lies, by the way. Those are lies. You are beautiful. Everybody wants you. And everybody can have you. You are being protected by your Heavenly Father. He has a hedge of protection around you. No, he doesn't want you consuming your time and your thoughts with all of these random men. No, you are too valuable. You are too prized. And he is also a jealous God. He doesn't want to share you. Not right now when it's not time for that. There is a time for everything in Ecclesiastics. So it's not time for that. Now, don't get me wrong. We go on dates here and there, things like that, because you never know when it's going to be the one. So you do. But my point is that you are not having, you should not feel like there's something wrong with you or like God has forgotten about you or something like that because you are not out every weekend with different men, going to different events every weekend to meet different men. That's what women in the world do. That's not what we do. We are not of the world. We're in the world. That's what they do. You are set apart. You're not supposed to do what they do. You should be somewhere focusing on whatever it is that he wants you to focus on. That's just my point. So, yes, we go through seasons of drought. Seasons of drought are blessed seasons because we have more availability and time to give to the Lord. And he, again, is keeping us in the safe. He's keeping us all to himself. He's protecting us and keeping us close to him. And that is a good thing. When it's your time, sis, that man is going to chase you down. Because as much as you're praying for him, he's praying for you because he's a man of God, right? He's a believer. He's a man of faith. You think he's not praying for a wife? You think he's not praying for God to lead him to you? You think he's not praying for y'all to be divinely connected? You're a mature woman who prays like that. He's a mature man, right? Doesn't he pray to the Lord? Yes. You're both praying for each other. And in God's divine time, you guys are going to connect and meet. But for right now, baby girl, it is your time to focus on him and to stay in the safe. Okay, so I hope that was encouraging. I see all of your comments, but I can't look at them right now because I don't want to get distracted. But I'm definitely going to look at them and read them. If I have time, I'll respond to them tonight. Okay, so I hope that was helpful. Now, I want to move on to the healing. I want to talk about healing. Now, when I asked a lot of you why you're stuck in your place of healing today, and I looked at my DMs, I looked at the comments that you guys posted, and I narrowed it down. These are the top responses that I got. One was because of the pain that took place. Two was getting over the hurt that took place. The third thing was acceptance, pretty much accepting your role in what went wrong. We have a hard time forgiving ourselves for the mistakes that we made, or compromising or settling or ignoring the red flags. So accepting that, and then accepting the fact that somebody have done these, whatever they did to break your heart, accepting the fact that they did that when they claim and profess to love you. It's hard to accept that. It's hurtful, right? And also letting go. And fear. Fear was the one that surprised me, actually, because I've asked this question before and I've never got that response. But several of you said that it was fear that was causing you not to fully heal and move forward. Fear of... One woman said it was fear because she knows when she's fully healed, she can fully fulfill her purpose, and she's afraid. It's easier for her to stay in a stuck place of hurt. It's easy for you to just be hurt and complain about being hurt and be bitter, which is the truth. It is easy to just be upset and mad at men and say, forget it, I don't even want a man. How easy is that? I don't need no man. That's easy, especially when you're alone. Now you can justify being alone, and you can look like you happy being alone, but on the inside, you do need a man. You want one real bad, and you're not happy being alone. And then the other female said it was fear because she didn't want to face how she was feeling and what she was going through, and that was difficult, and that was causing her to be stuck in her healing. So I want to encourage you again that if you are stuck in a place of healing, and if you are still trying to get your broken heart healed and you cannot move forward, that you do not have to go through this process alone. You don't have to go through this alone. I have made myself available to my sisters because when I went through my most heartbreaking situation and I was looking for help in the church, I was looking for help outside the church. I could not find it. Couldn't find it. I called the church. I went to meetings. I talked to people in the church. They kept referring me to the front office. I go to the front office. They don't call me back. And the Lord told me back then, Sarita, you don't have anyone to help you, but what I want you to be, I want you to be that woman who is there for other women who also need help. And they might not have it or can't find it. I want you to be what you were looking for in that season. And so now I'm in that place. Now I'm in that season. I have created a coaching program specifically to help women to heal, specifically to focus on whatever is keeping you stuck. So it's not like I'm just going to be talking the whole time, because it's not a class, right? It's a program. It's a coaching program. There's interaction. There's engagement. There's other women who are similarly going through heartbreak, and you can hear their stories. You can bounce ideas off of each other. And I'm also going to help you. Because again, not only have I received professional training, but I have had lifelong experiences and lessons that I've learned, and the wisdom of God that flows that I want to pour out. I've learned so many things that I don't want to keep it to myself, because I know it can help other women. So it's all created from a place of love. Those of you who may or may not have seen my post that I was talking about healing calls and healing coaching calls and everything like that. Well, I had a healing call last night, and I sent out the replay because it is an introductory call to a 30-day healing program called the 30-Day Life Shifts. It commences on April 9th. And if you sign up for that program, you'll be a part of this intimate group of women, and we're going through the healing process together. We're getting you unstuck in your healing process. So if you're stuck in these areas like acceptance, letting go, fear, getting over hurt. Now I want to give you something tonight though. I don't want to just talk about the program. I want to help you tonight. Tonight I want to help you. So I'm not going to give you too much because I really want you to sign up for the program, because it is a process. All right. And during the program, I'm going to give you some information in a minute to help you to start to move forward in the healing process, so that you can kind of get a feel for how we will be working together. When we work together in the 30-Day Life Shift program, we will be following the healing roadmap, because I think it's helpful. You start at the top, you journey through the bottom, and you get to your vision of total healing. I think it's very helpful to put a visual and a plan to your faith, an action plan to your faith. So not just saying Jesus is my healer, but yet I'm stuck and I don't know how to get unstuck. Well, sis, I can show you how to get unstuck, and I can give you a visual to follow so that when we coach together, it'll be in an organized fashion, an organized process of putting a plan to your faith and incorporating it into your actual daily life, into your actual daily activities. It's very, very practical. So you won't just walk away after hearing me talk and feel better, and then, a couple hours later, you still crying yourself to sleep at night. No. We are going to engage with one another, and you will have practical ways to implement things into your life so that you can actually get unstuck and move forward. So let me read something to you real quick. I wrote this book, How to Heal a Broken Heart. Now, this is the proof. This book is actually, it's going to be published within the next, it's actually being edited for the second time because my first editor did not do a good job. So it's going through a second editor. But what I want to read to you is what can help you. Pain. So let's get to the chapter about pain. So when I started writing this book, it's because I went through a heartbreaking situation. Some of you have seen my videos, some of you have not, where I was with somebody, I got cheated on. I spoke to his side chick, and my heart was broke. I was humiliated, embarrassed, ashamed, mad at myself, of course, for getting so close to him and accepting deal breakers and ignoring red flags. And I had to get over that. And I followed a process, and I incorporated some things that the Lord led me to do in this season that helped me to get to a better place than I was before I even went in. So chapter 8 of this book, How to Heal a Broken Heart, is called Get Your Pain Out. Get your pain out. I'm just going to read to you what happened when, as I told you earlier, I had broke my 6-year celibacy walk. And I had all this pain on the inside of me that needed to be released. This was one way that really helped me. One day, in the midst of my turmoil, God told me to write my story down. I felt too embarrassed to share all the details with anyone verbally. I barely spoke about what transpired between us with my family and friends. They knew very few details, and most of them were confused about what truly took place between old Betty and me. I hid a lot of things from them. So when God told me to write my story down, I tried to figure out how I could write it so that it would be a blessing to others and still limit my personal humiliation. God told me to write all the details down and omit nothing. He revealed to me that one day I might share the story with others, but as for now, this written version of the chain of events was for my own personal healing. I did exactly as I was instructed. I simply wrote, with no format, no plan, and no audience in mind. I put all the details down in a narrative form, and I didn't leave any of the ugly details out. It took me about a week to get the story all typed up, because I wasn't working at the time. I was on maternity leave. After that week, I felt so much lighter. It was as if a weight had been lifted off of me. At times I cried as I wrote. Sometimes I had to take long breaks because the memories were too painful and embarrassing. Yet I continued to write as instructed by my Creator. My Father was right. My breakthrough from hurt, bitterness, unforgiveness, and shame all started by first writing my full, honest, and completely transparent story, the good, the bad, and the ugly. So this is from my book, How to Heal a Broken Heart, Practical Ways to Move from Pain to Peace. You're going to want to get a copy of this book when it drops. And actually, if you register for the 30-day Life Shift program, within the next 24 hours, you will be gifted a copy of this book. The book's going to be $17.99 for the soft copy. Now, this is a proof, so it's not going to look like this. It's going to look way better. I have a really, really cute book design. But the soft copy book is $17.99. The hard copy is $25.99. But you will be gifted a copy of this book if you register for the 30-day Life Shift program. Go to my site, go to phenomenalsinglewoman.com/life shift, or click on the link in my bio that says sign up for the 30-day Life Shift program, and we can get started getting you unstuck in your healing process. So the last thing I want to say about that, I've showed you the healing roadmap. I've read to you out of this book. We're going to follow some of the things that I went through, some of the lessons that I learned and I was led to do with the Holy Spirit. I'm going to share with you because some of it is so creative and I've never heard anyone talk about it that I know it will really, really help you. I know it will. And I'm excited to help you. And then you're also going to get a coaching workbook with it. So this is the Life Guide to Patience coaching workbook. I have a program called Patience, Peace, Perseverance, and Purpose. And so this workbook goes with that coaching program. It comes with 2 audios, and it comes with this workbook as a download so that you can figure out what your purpose is, so that you can grow in greater peace, and so that you can persevere through the single season. But with the 30-day Life Shift program, you will get the Life Guide to Healing, which is the pink version of this. And it is a workbook that goes with the program. So all in all, with the 30-day Life Shift program, you get 2 live group coaching calls. You get 2 self-paced audios, including the How to Hear from God coaching program. So I asked a lot of you earlier about what was the last thing that you heard from the Lord. But I actually have a coaching program called How to Hear from God. And I teach you how to hear from God, literally. And I also teach you how to confirm and clarify what you have heard. So that program is one of the bonuses that you get with the 30-day Life Shift. You're also going to get another bonus called How to Thrive in this single season, where I talk about lasting assurance, peace, and joy. And I teach you how to thrive in this single season. That's another bonus. And then there's the ebook that I'm throwing in there as well. So there's a couple of bonuses, and everything is on my website except for the book. I didn't put that on my website. So if you register within the next 24 hours, you will get a copy of the How to Heal a Broken Heart mailed to you as soon as it drops, which my release date is April 16th. So let's hope all goes well. Well, ladies, I thank you so much for joining me. Let me see here. Let me see what your comments were. Okay, there's a lot of comments. I have to go back and read. You know what? Let me see. You're welcome, everyone. You're welcome. Praying is key. You're welcome. She's okay. So let me look at Michelle. Michelle said, it's so hard to see people you know who are in relationships, marriages, and have been together for years since high school and college type law. It makes me think something is wrong with me. Nothing is wrong with you, Michelle. Everyone has a different path, and everyone has a different journey. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with you. You don't know what those people's path or journey was. And you also don't know what they have going on behind closed doors. I'm telling you, you can watch reality TV, and it's like one season, the couple will be the happiest couple, giving marriage therapy to every other couple. And then on the next season, they get a divorce. I'm like, how did that happen? I thought this was like the go-to couple. Because you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. So just because somebody been married for 50 years or got married young, you don't know what's going on behind closed doors. Not to say that everyone got something bad going on, but you just don't. Is the reason why it's not good to compare is because when you compare, somebody has to be put up and somebody has to be put down. You don't compare yourself in because you can have a godly comparison where somebody is encouraging you, right? But then you can have an ungodly comparison where you're putting someone up and you're putting someone down. Either you're going to put yourself up and think that you're better than somebody else, or you're going to put them way up here and put yourself way down here and think that you are no good. And that's not true. Everyone is different. It doesn't mean that one person is better or worse or in a better or worse situation. Everyone is just different. And I've also learned that a lot of married people are looking at your single life wishing that they have not. I mean, I will never forget this woman that I used to work with. I thought she had the best marriage. And I was like, man, at least you married. Something I said to her one day, at least you married. She was like, well, Sarita, if I would have known then what I know now. I mean, I love my husband. I've heard that from a few women. I'm sure y'all have too. I mean, I love my husband, but if I would have known then, maybe I would have waited a little longer. Maybe I would have still been single. I mean, I'd be like, oh, okay. So you never know. You never know what people got going on. It's better to wait and trust the Lord and get God's very, very best for your life, um, than to give up on the Lord or start to really think something's wrong with you when nothing's wrong with you. Nothing's wrong with you. Nothing's wrong with any of us. We are all imperfect beings doing the best that we can. Um, and also I want to encourage you too. Nobody is perfect. And I say this all the time. Just because somebody gets married doesn't mean that that woman has reached some level of perfection and God has blessed her with a husband and now she doesn't have to grow anymore. No. We all have flaws. We all have issues. We all have something that we need to work on. Just because you get married, those things don't go away. It just means that God has changed your season. The Lord has chosen to move you from a season of being single to a season of being married. And it's all in accordance with His purpose, right? Because all things are working for our good. Because we're called according to His purpose. So nothing is wrong with you. Nothing is wrong with anybody just because you've been single for a long time. If you really think something wrong with you, go ask God. And you DM me and let me know what God say. You say, God, what's wrong with me? God gonna say, you got a bad attitude, you need to do this, you need to do that. No, God is a loving Father. He's not gonna do that. He's gonna encourage your heart. Ask the Lord what's wrong with you. And then DM me and let me know. Those thoughts that something is wrong with you, they're either coming from yourself or they're coming from the enemy. They're definitely not of God. They're not of God. There's nothing wrong with you. Be encouraged. Alright, so that is what I wanted to talk about on tonight. So I hope that was helpful. I know it was because I prayed about it like all day. I've been praying about it. I definitely want you guys to connect with me outside of Instagram. Please download the Power Prayers for Phenomenal Single Women so you can get on my mailing list. Click on that link in my bio. Click on the other link for the 30-day life shift so that you can register and we can work together outside of Instagram. I am going to pop on here tomorrow sometime because it's a busy day. But I want to interact with y'all. So if you have a topic, a question, or anything, DM me so I can add it to my agenda. And I hope you guys have a wonderful evening, a good day at church, a good night, a good evening in prayer and worship. And I will keep you guys lifted, and I love all of you. Thank you so much for all of you who participated. And for those who didn't, you can always DM me and we can chat offline. Bye. Have a wonderful evening.